Good morning and welcome to the fourth hour. It's great to have you along on this Friday morning. There are a few new stories that I want to share with you. The Let's talk about RFK Jr. because this and the rest of these stories are a little bit newer, but because we talked about this on the show this morning, Trump referring to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as a great mind. He took the stage last night, said Kennedy is another one who's a great guy and great mind and so popular. And I think he's right. He wants to make people healthy. It's driven him pretty wild over the last number of years. And the Democrats didn't treat him well. Democrats didn't treat anybody well. Democrats didn't treat him well. He was doing fantastically well. Today, I nominated him for, I guess, if you like health, and if you like people that live a long time, it's the most important position, he said. So then Kennedy responded to this on X, and you can see the comment there, thanking Donald Trump for his leadership. We have a generational opportunity to bring together the greatest minds in science, medicine, industry, and government. And he said, I look forward to working with the more than 80,000 employees at Health and Human Services to free the agencies from the smothering cloud of corporate culture so they can pursue their mission to make Americans once again the healthiest people on earth. So that really is the big story this morning is Donald Trump choosing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Few other stories that I wanted to share with you is Jay, thank you. Jay saying, good morning. You look like you're feeling better. Oh man, I am feeling a ton better. Wow. Yesterday was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. Yeah, Lauren is also jaw dropping at the mention of 80,000. Yeah, agreed. But that shot that I received, the shingles shot, wow. Absolutely. I mean, it really not me. So when I get my next one, because when you get your shingles vaccination, you actually have to get two of them. So I've got to get another one in 2 to 6 months. I have to have another one. I guarantee you I'll be getting the next one on a Friday so I can go home and rest because as the day went on yesterday, I just got worse. I mean, seriously, I woke up and I felt kind of crummy, but not horrible. And by the end of the show, I really was not feeling very good. In fact, I think I joked at the end of the show yesterday as to whether or not I would do the fourth hour. And so I thought, well, I'll do it. I'll get through that. And so I did the fourth hour yesterday, and man, I was just, so that shingles vaccination just knocked me for an absolute loop. So this morning, though, feeling much, much better. So thanks for your concern. It was just a vaccination. So, but again, I thought another one, I'm not looking forward to the next one, but I'll be smart this time. I'll get it on a Friday and I can just go home. And I mean, I even went home. So about 11 o'clock yesterday, I go home. I'm like, I'm going to get some sleep. So I laid down, got my CPAP machine. And usually with that CPAP, man, I'm out and I sleep really well with the CPAP machine. And I could not sleep. That's how out of sorts I was yesterday. And it was that shingle shot. So I'm not telling you don't get a shingle shot. I'm just saying I had a very strong reaction to it. Other folks don't. I had a flu shot too. Flu shots, nothing. But I got the shot on Wednesday. My right arm is still sore where I got that shot. So anyway, I'm doing much, much better. Thanks for your concern. All right, other stories that I wanted to share with you this morning. I wanted to share a little bit of video of Sylvester Stallone. Hold on a second here. I want to get the right. There we go. Sylvester Stallone was speaking at the at a gala, and he introduced Donald Trump, and he didn't speak very long, but it was kind of incredible. So this is Sylvester Stallone. Here we go.
When I did Rocky, if you remember, the first image was a picture of Jesus, and it says Resurrection AC Club. I found a church that had been converted to a boxing ring. So the image pans down from Jesus onto Rocky being hit. And at that moment, he was a chosen person, and that's how I began the journey. Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump.
Yeah. And he goes on here. It's pretty good.
We are in the presence of a really mythical character. I love mythology. And this individual does not exist on this planet. Nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off. So I'm in awe. And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you could imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a pretty incredible speech, and then he introduces Donald Trump afterward. But I thought you might appreciate that. It was a pretty great story. So they're scrambling over at The View. Do you see this? At ABC, scrambling to bring in a pro-Trump voices to The View. You know what? If you wanted to save The View, first thing you need to do is fire everybody associated with that show. Fire them all. So they're in panic mode. And this makes me laugh. Let's see what's going on here. So first on the agenda, finding a pro-Trump panelist for the talk show. Could you stand being up there with Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and the rest? I couldn't do it. Seriously, I couldn't do it. I would not do it. That is not my calling. So The View is facing pressure from higher-ups. Viewers can expect some major changes, including bringing in new panelists that can bring in a pro-Trump perspective. You know what? And this is a promise I can make to you pretty easily. I still would not watch that show. I don't care what voices you bring in on that program. I still would not watch that show. Absolutely incredible. Also, there's a story involving Elon Musk in the efficiency department. This is interesting. So he's giving new details. So I want to get down. You really have to scroll down to find new details. Fox is, they got to tell you. For those who were uninformed, you have no idea as to what's going on, build the story again. So I don't know if we are going to get to any other detail. I don't think we are. So Elon Musk saying his role in Trump's efficiency department is going to be a revolution. Let's see what he says. Let's take a listen to this. This is a couple of minutes long. So let's run another piece of audio. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm hoping this is Elon Musk.
Well, listen, I guess someone's got to do George Soros to the right.
That's a bad microphone.
I call myself George Soros from the center, I think. We obviously need to have just the basics. So as President Trump rightly said, what we need is the restoration of common sense. Which is that,
the restoration of common sense. I should be in the Trump administration.
We want secure borders, sensible spending, freedom of speech, respect for the Constitution. Anyway, so if that's George Soros of the right, that's me. Okay.
So he's saying this is going to be a revolution.
I'm incredibly excited about the future. public has given us a mandate that could not be more clear. It's the clearest mandate, pointing the popular vote clearly, the House, the Senate, the Electoral College by a mile, majority of governorships, majority of House legislatures, all Republican. The people have spoken. The people want change. And we're going to give it to them.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So there was, I was hoping there would be more there. The obviously that video was shot. I was hoping was going to be his microphone audio, which is not. It's somebody shooting it on a phone. So it was pretty distant audio. This is why I try to. One of the challenges of doing this at 9:30 for me, it's both good and bad. Doing a show at 9:30 is I don't have nearly as much time to prepare for it as I would like. So I'm really kind of hitting the ground running, and I saw that piece at foxnews.com, and the headline really grabbed my attention. Elon Musk, I think, really is. I've been blown away by this guy, Elon Musk, and what he's doing. The Department of Government Efficiency. I think there's a lot of excitement, and you tell me if you feel differently, but a lot of excitement surrounding this Department of Government Efficiency and what he may do. And there was a story, and I shared this on the air this morning at the New York Post. They may still have it up. The number of things, the wasteful spending that they had found, and there are a lot of folks who have been out there over the years. You know, there was when it comes to booklets on pork and all of that kind of thing, you know, those have been out there for years and years, you know, and agencies have looked at, or I should say folks outside of government have looked at what the federal government is doing and the pork that they're spending, and you know, pointed at this is absolutely outrageous. Now, some things are more outrageous than others, but all pretty objectionable, you know, as you look at them. Should we be spending the American taxpayers' dime on all of these different projects? So as we talk about the Department of Government Efficiency, that's something I'm really, really excited for. And they got a pretty fast timeline they're working on. So by the time the midterm elections come up, they already want to have cut and made significant cuts to the federal government. And if that happens, I think in the way that many of us hope, you know, the explosion that we may see as a result, I think, and I mean good things happening. You know, people returning to the private sector, and with the focus then on American jobs anyway, Donald Trump saying, you know, warning companies, hey, if you don't get out of China, you don't get out of Mexico, you know, you're going to be paying tariffs on your products, you know. I'm really hoping for good things to happen. Now, how quickly we're going to see that, I think, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Jay, I think you're pulling my leg. Thank you very much, though. Fill in the blank. That's so. Steve also said, I'm hopeful with this department, but I believe the bureaucracy is going to throw up roadblocks at every opportunity. Well, this is the thing, and I talked about this very, very briefly on the air this morning. I mentioned you don't ever see anybody who's happy with government cuts, right? You get senators, you get representatives, you get mayors, you get governors, you get all of these folks. You know, yeah, government cuts are fine until it impacts them. Until it impacts them. So it sounds great. Again, I think one of the things that I'm really hopeful about is this is a panel that's going to be operating outside of the federal government. And so they are not, in other words, then they're not going to be dealing with these government agencies. They're just going to be suggesting and then implementing then these changes, and it will be what it will be. I mean, because once you're inside government, if you were to create this as a government agency, and now it's a federal government agency, and this what and then it's just another federal department. We'll see. Well, I understand Steve's got a little bit of skepticism here, and I think given the size of the federal government, that's a good reason to be skeptical. I understand that. But he's also hopeful. And I think Vivek Ramaswamy, these guys are, Elon Musk, I think, is absolutely brilliant. Vivek Ramaswamy, I think the guy is an absolute tiger. You unleash those guys, I think it'll be absolutely incredible. At least that's what I'm hoping that we're going to see. So we'll see where it goes. There was another story from Stars and Stripes that caught my attention this morning. I'm not putting it up on screen here, but it's a little bit disturbing. I didn't have a chance to look at it, but the headline caught my attention. Military suicides increase among active duty and reserve troops in 2023. And so this was reported by the Pentagon. And so they say for years, the Pentagon has struggled to bring down the number of suicides in the ranks. And I wonder why that is. Why are we seeing those suicides? And so we're talking about active duty troops. And so similar to previous years, they said service members who died by suicide were largely young males under the age of 30. This group accounted for 61% of suicide deaths in the active component. Wow. That is really kind of troubling. Steve, who are you talking about? Who's looking for? Steve said, I heard they're looking for people to help. Oh, you're talking about the Department of Government Efficiency? Yeah, they are. They're looking for people to help. Must be willing to work 80 hours a week. Pay is nothing. Yeah. And I wonder how many people will we see who will be chomping at the bit to help cut federal government spending. You've got to believe that there are folks who with time on their hands who would say, yeah, I'll donate a certain amount of time to do whatever work you need and help you in that project to make government more efficient and more accountable. You got to believe that there are other Americans who are feeling very much like I am, very inspired by that, right? So very inspired by that and saying, yeah, I'm willing to help do whatever I can. I think just as we've got Americans who are willing to serve in the military, who then are willing to, serve as police officers, folks who are devoted to public service. And, think about it. Think about all of the police, all of the firefighters, all of those folks who really have dedicated themselves to, firefighting, especially dangerous work, but they're committed to the safety of the public, trying to help the public when they, whether their lives or their property are threatened by fires. You've got to wonder if we will see the best in Americans then also rise up and say, absolutely, I'm willing to dedicate myself to be able to help the government become more efficient. Because some folks will say, yeah, well, I can't be a police officer for whatever reason. It's either, I can't meet the physical qualifications, but I love my country and I would like my government to be more efficient. And I think we might be surprised at the number of folks actually who would do that. So pretty interesting. I don't have anything else for you today. And we just hit the 20-minute mark. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to touch base with you on today. Don't think there is. So I'm going to leave it there for this morning. I want to thank you for inviting me, to join you again, whether it's on the radio, whether it's here on YouTube or Facebook, however you're watching. Very, very much appreciated, my friend. So I hope to see you again on Monday. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend. Hit the like button. And so long until Monday. May God bless.